Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live with Suzi. We're so happy to have another show with lovely guests, one more Friday afternoon here, and I'm delighted to be talking to two great artists, filmmakers, actors, and talking about their new movies, all their new projects that they're having and they want to talk about. And hopefully, we will have you for the next 50 minutes on the clock. And we will have another guest joining us later on. Only we can accommodate a few, as you can see. But then he will join us later, and we will talk more. So hope we will have you all for the next 50 minutes on Live with Suzi. Welcome, guys, to the show. So wonderful having Harley and Vida on the show.
Such an honor, Suzi June, to be on your show. Great to be back on this wonderful show. I believe the last time I was on Astra and Ruse, we were doing our Oscar pool predictions.
Totally.
Yes, and I think we were right, and I wish we bet money on it. So it's great to be back. A lot has happened since then, and we have an amazing guest here, the fabulous Harley Wallen.
And I'm very, very honored, honestly, to have Harley Wallen with us today. Thank you for accepting the interview and being here. I know how busy you are. You have a lot of projects. One was just completed, and you had the premiere that we're showing, The Betrayed, which I, unfortunately, for me, had to miss. But thanks for the invite, and I know it's been a great buzz about it. So, before we go further, I want to introduce you to our viewers so that they know you are from Sweden.
Correct.
And that the fact that you were younger age and you were into martial arts, because a lot of Persian people love martial arts.
Crazy about martial arts.
Crazy about it. And I have to be honest, he's got a black belt in
a few of them.
A few of them. That's why I wore my black belt, but it's a big difference between them.
Oh, so cute, Suzi! Yours is a Hermes belt.
But it's far from
I like hers better.
what you can afford.
Yeah, but I think you really have to earn it for the black belt. But I'm sure you have to earn it too for the Hermes belt in a different
my goodness.
Right.
Oh my goodness, no comparison. I wish I had his black belts. But anyway, and then eventually he came to the United States, where he really wanted to pursue his love and passion for the movie industry. And he's a filmmaker now. He's a great actor, and he managed to actually work with a lot of great actors in Hollywood, which isn't an easy task, but you did it all. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think Wednesday night was definitely magical. I think the early media that's coming out is kind of confirming what we all felt that night. And it was a great, phenomenal event. And I'm happy that the film was very well received. And we had a very short festival run with the film, but we have done incredibly well.
Yes,
so, yeah.
yes. He's fresh off the heels of winning at the Lucky Strikes Film Festival, which was started by an amazing friend of mine, Roman Simon. So many thanks to Roman Simon and his crew.
Yes.
That was just this past Sunday. You and your lovely wife, Katie, you swept the awards under the thriller categories. Tell the audience and Suzi all about it.
Yeah,
please.
no, absolutely. It was an amazing night. We came out and it was like a packed house.
Yes.
And we were sitting. And I don't know why I never assume or think about winning. I just enjoy being nominated. And we're sitting around when I'm sipping on a glass of wine, and I hear them calling Katie Wallen as Best Actress, and I'm in the balcony. So now I have to hustle down, and everybody's waiting for
like
3
the
minutes.
Allison Janney moment at the Golden Globes or something when she was in the ladies' room. So
So after that, I stayed downstairs.
You made sure
for
you
the
were
next
around.
one,
just
in case.
Yeah.
But that's
So-
a great feeling,
Oh,
right?
it's fantastic. And while I was here, I found out that my lead actress, Aphrodite Nikolovsky, she got nominated for Best Actress. I ended up getting another nomination for Best Actor or Best Director. And then we got Best Sound Design and Score. We ended up with another Best Film. It's been amazing. And everything started off with the Gold Movie Awards in London, where I won Best Producer. John Savage won Best Actor. And we won Best Thriller. And so this has all happened in about less than 2 months, because we had such a short festival run, and it's been amazing.
And I think it's especially amazing because given this industry, I don't know if your viewers know, things usually move very
Slowly, right.
So this is very rapid considering the slow moving of everything. So.
So tell us about the cast members for the movie Betrayed, and then I'm going to move on to your other projects. But since this is the latest one, we want to talk about this now, right now.
So the poster, we we brought that along, and we have John Savage being an iconic John Savage. I love his performance,
Yes.
and he's very well deserved of his award. We have Billy Worth, who after Wednesday night's performance, people were likening him with Charles Bronson and Clint Eastwood. Incredible performance. Richard Tyson.
Outstanding as Mr.
Such,
Stone.
oh goodness,
Oh
Lord.
my God.
His
God.
performance is another one of those where you're sitting holding your breath when you see him. And then Jan Birch, who's my
Who's gonna
fellow
be our
Swede,
guest,
who's
who's
going to
Gonna
be here.
guessing, and
That's
it's
right.
Jan Birch. I always get it wrong.
You finally got it.
I finally got it.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, and Jan and I have become so close. Like, I always find something in every movie almost for him. I love
That's
working with
excellent.
Jan. And then TJ Storm, who is martial artist, stuntman, incredible
Extraordinaire.
actor. He's everything. And then obviously, we have Blanca Blanco playing her first villain role. So that's our main team. We have Sean Ray from Toronto. We have Damien Chinapi from Boston, here from the Batman Nightmare series, which is done incredibly well on the comic circuit.
Super. So you basically collected them all the great ones from different places.
That's what I
right?
tried,
You have a
yes.
casting director, or you do it all yourself, Harley?
Myself. I am very picky with cast. I'm pretty picky with things in general.
And then how did you come up with this story of Betrayed? Tell us about
I was in my church, and they talked about human trafficking in my area, in my city, and I was really unaware how big of a problem it was, and this wake up call of seeing how terrible it is and how much of this is going on. I just felt like I wanted to do something that really could grab people and shake them and wake them and just step up and we have to start looking out for each other.
Absolutely.
We have to.
Absolutely. What a great
Yeah,
way of,
very compelling story, very tragic story, but
Yeah.
unfortunately very timely.
Yeah.
And might I add, the performances were extraordinary. You were extraordinary. I loved your Russian accent; it was
Thank you.
incredible.
Thank you.
And I loved the way you interacted. There was this scene where Richard Tyson shouts some obscenities with your character.
Yeah.
That was a winning scene. He provided a lot of comedic relief. John Savage was the ultimate mayor. Katie was incredible.
This is a
such
role of a lifetime.
Yes,
for
like a
Katie.
tragic ingenue in this film, like almost like a Shakespearean
Yeah.
role, if you will. Everybody was incredible. Jan was incredible. TJ was incredible. There was a wonderful fight scene with you and TJ, which was, so compelling. And the rest of the cast, Blanco, everyone was just wonderful.
Yeah.
Billy is a great gritty role for him.
Yeah.
So
I
let's
loved
just see the trailer we have.
For sure.
If you don't mind, and then we will continue. Stay
Sure.
tuned, please.
I haven't done this dating thing in a long time.
You thought this was a date?
Golden voice.
Now I have a daughter named Pearl. Did I tell you she's from China?
Did I tell you Janice is adopted?
Through the trees that grew without.
She said you asked out her dentist and you were
Okay, a little technical difficulty. Well, not really difficulty, but we had another trailer, and so
You got
we're
too much
gonna-
going on, Harley.
Too much going on. Exactly. So let's go back to the Betrayed. We will show you that trailer, and then when we finish with that, we will come back with another one. So let's see that first.
We really need to go. It's late and
whatever, dude. Don't worry about it.
They found another body in the dumpster.
Getting bad out there.
At this moment, we have no more information.
help me, please.
My daughter's best friend is missing.
I've activated a task force.
3 young teenagers were abducted by your thugs. The chief and I were taking too much heat because you didn't keep your promise.
Mr. Mayor, are you aware of any ties?
There's no evidence of any of our donors being associated to these abductions.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I'm gonna shut down the Russians.
The mayor has asked that I not do business with you anymore.
Oh my God!
Did you get any messages from my daughter this morning?
Well, she just vanished.
I don't like this.
I think the Russians took her.
I can get all kinds of money, please. You don't need to do this.
You know what these animals do to girls? Just find her.
This is Detroit, not Chicago. I am not going down with you.
Can't have the cartel and the Russians both picking our girls up off our streets.
Back with us. Welcome to the conversation we're having here with Harley and Vida. And we just showed you the trailer, which it premiered 2 nights ago here in Los Angeles, Hollywood actually, Chinese theater. Tell us about it. Were there a lot of Persian medias there as well?
Yes, they came to support. Persians love Europeans,
Yeah.
Yes.
and they love martial arts. So when they
True.
found out that you were in it, and TJ Storm was in it, and of course all the other big names, a lot of them, we had a Persian celebrity photographers. The lovely Sanaz Danesh came to shoot photos. We had Mariam Morrison from the Eden magazine. We also had a Omi de Iran stop by, but there wasn't enough room for them on the red carpet
Yeah.
because we had Wire Image, Getty Image, PR photos, when
was
the Hollywood Press
crazy.
Corps, the Hollywood Digest, I mean, and many, many more, Hex 82 podcasts. I just want to give a big shout out to all the
Yeah.
media. They were so supportive of everyone and everything, and they did such a great, great job, and a big shout out to rockstar publicist Joe Williamson. I will add, a lot of the media were our friends, and they came to support, and you
nice.
truly brought Hollywood, Michigan to Hollywood. You know,
Yeah.
the Swedish Viking taking over Tinseltown. It's very impressive, and everybody was talking about it, and so many people were like, how did I not know about this? And these are really
Yeah.
highly regarded people in the industry, producers, writers, directors, casting
Yeah.
people. This happened, and where was my invitation? There wasn't enough
Yeah.
room. We're sorry.
Yeah.
Pack the house.
I mean, we were at capacity.
Beyond capacity.
Yeah, and quite a while before, too. So we had to stop, almost hold on everything
Right.
several weeks out. So it's been a tricky one to do, and we've learned a lot for next time. So the next time we got to find a bigger theater.
You got to have
bigger
press
place.
screenings
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
and the whole
yeah.
junket circuit. You're going to have
Yeah.
to be at the Four Seasons with everybody else. So, you know.
Now let's move into another subject I want to talk about, and of course we're talking about Betrayed, the movie, and I'm sure you guys want to know where you can actually see it. Now we're going to let you know. So where can everyone see the movie?
Okay, so it depends on how you want to watch your movies. I'm still a DVD guy. I love owning and physically
Agreed,
having it.
yes.
So you can buy it. You can walk into Walmart and buy it. You can order it on Amazon. Up until the release date, you're getting $5 off, so you save some money on,
that's nice.
on ordering it. And then you can get it on. Right now, we haven't decided, because it looks like we're going to have a network release, and we haven't decided on where we're going yet. But we did sign Netflix DVD, so if you're on the
bravo.
Netflix DVD program,
Cool.
Right
then
on.
you can rent it immediately and
Perfect.
watch it right there. Beyond that, we have locked down almost every single VOD site. So if
Well
you want to watch it
done.
on Comcast On Demand,
Ooh.
if you want to watch it on Hulu, if you want to watch it on any of those places.
Even Fandango has it on.
Yeah, even Fandango has
Wow.
it. So
What is the rating in it?
we have
Has
right
it
now a
been determined?
non-rated no. So right now we have a because of the TV pending TV.
Right.
We will likely have to go through and do the rating here pretty soon. But I would assume somewhere in between a PG-13 and an R,
Gotcha.
depending on how much they feel for things. But I would probably say R. Would you guess the same?
I would believe so, yeah. I mean,
so really
considering
it's
the
not
nature,
cool
the
for
delicate
younger
nature,
people,
subject
younger
material.
viewers. I would make sure they don't watch it. So
Yeah.
just remember that. And then since we have another guest who's going to join us momentarily, I want to make sure we talk about Vida, who
Oh,
I'm sure you know,
please.
Vida Ghaffari, who I had the pleasure having Vida on my numerous shows in the past, radio, my other TV shows. And,
Yes.
she's always gracious enough to accept my invitation. And even though she's a very busy lady.
Oh,
and,
it's always my honor, Suzi June, to be on your esteemed shows. And might I add, Harley does a lot in the horror genre. So we're from ancestrally, at least I am, I don't know about you, we're from the city of Kashan, and we're
Right.
big scaredy cats. Sorry, Kashanis, but it's the truth. So for us to watch your films, it's very meaningful for us. Even though I
That's
work
right.
in the
Yeah.
horror genre, I'm always petrified.
There we go. There we go.
And I'm OCD when I have to get the fake blood off of me because it's usually
Yeah.
sticky syrup. So I'm OCD and I'm a scaredy cat. So it's, but you know, I'd love to talk about working with Harley. It was
Please
such a
do.
process. I worked on his other film, Abeyance. He is so talented. He is so on point. And I'm astounded that this fellow has only been making films for 3 years. It's definitely your life calling.
Oh, it is.
So, and it was another great cast, again, with Richard Tyson, Billy Worth, Jan Birch, the fabulous Mel Novak, Scout Taylor Compton.
Another
amazing cast, and of course Harley himself and Katie. And you have your own repertory of actors.
Yeah, Erica
That's
Hovland
excellent.
and Damien Chinapi. There were such amazing performances in that movie as well. And I definitely don't mean any disrespect to Betrayed. Betrayed's a great movie, but Abeyance is going to be a whole new benchmark. I think we have a legitimate shot at a theater run.
Can't
with
wait
that
to
film.
see that. That's the one that you're.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's a
working.
very
That's the project
interesting
with
subject
Vida.
material if you want to tell the viewers.
So I read things and then my mind and my imagination starts
Running.
doing things with them. So I read that there is a head transplant about to occur in our world, where it was originally supposed to be a Russian paraplegic with a body that was deteriorating, and it was going to happen in China, and the body was brain dead, and they were going to switch the heads and put in medically induced coma and allow everything to reheal, and they really believed this could work.
Wow.
So I started thinking about what would happen if we can do this, and what happens when we take it a step further. What if I could download your consciousness and your memories and who you are onto a drive, and then inject that into a different body and allow you to live through a whole new shell and start your life all over
You have
again.
an amazing mind.
Yeah,
Continue.
like if I want to be a hot blonde lady without giving too much away, all from fresh from the start, snappity snap, like
Yeah.
I Dream of Jeannie or whatever. That's basically what happens. You can start afresh, but in a way that's not good because you could be doing devious things and then be a new person without
Well, then
again,
what
giving
we
too much
find
away.
out is these two corporations that have now developed the prototype for this. One of the CEO finds out that the other company does not have good intentions. They have a wait list of very, very rich people, and they have employed these people that they're going to take over within their company. So they're not waiting for somebody to be brain dead. So they pull out, stop the deal, put everything in abeyance, and then Richard Tyson says, okay, we need to figure this out. So they kidnap, try to take the whole family of the CEO, miss the daughter. The daughter has these unlikely allies that come to her aid to try to fix the problem here, but it's a very wild ride.
Yeah, I wanted to wake up
sci-fi
and-
action,
Yes.
and definitely suspense, strong suspense all the way through. Sit on pins and needles.
Edge of the seat.
And it's
Yes.
a social commentary too of,
Yeah.
of the times we're living in with the cloning and the biohacking and all this stuff. And I really wanted to wake up as that blonde lady. So it was cool. It was a
So
great
you're
experience.
now in post-production on that?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
so-
I have 2 films in post-production right now. One horror film called Agramon's Gate. I felt a calling to bring a great story back to horror. I think so often it's little cheap and just it's a bunch of jumps and when you leave you might go, what was that movie about? It didn't really have a story and you didn't really get lost in it. And I that's what I want. I want you to sit and get lost.
Susie, you and I would be petrified.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that is- that is-
Hold together, hold each other's hands.
Kashani contingent.
Totally.
Yes. Yeah, that one is going to be pretty scary.
Those kinds of scary movies are much scarier to me than like The Knife in the Heart. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you're on the edge of your seat, like you white knuckling it.
Well,
know?
you can kind of defend yourself against an
Yes.
attacker, but when it's a spirit or
Or a demon, no
you're-
way.
There's not much you can
Yeah,
really do.
it's a tough fight,
Well, we'll
even
keep
with
you-
all the black belts.
Yeah.
Even with the black belt. Well, we'll keep you informed as the movie gets ready to be shown, and we will definitely let you know more
be
about
back.
it. And then we have another trailer, but I think we will show it to you while we're saying thank you to Vida,
Yes,
and
yes.
we're gonna bring you on, and we will continue our conversation here and our interview. And stay tuned, Live with Suzi.
I'm Dr. Song.
You called me out from the other side. You held my hand.
Maybe we could do coffee sometime.
I'd love to sometime get coffee, sure.
I haven't done this dating thing in a long time.
You thought this was a date?
Golden voice said,
Now I have a daughter named Pearl. Did I tell you she's from China?
Did I tell you Janice is adopted?
"Shine
She said you asked out her dentist and you were stuttering the whole time. Really, Dad?
You're dating.
Yeah.
How many of them are you?
All of them.
I don't want to date you, Susan.
Oh, you don't?
I want to marry you. No, really, they're all ours.
You're kidding.
It's 14?
14.
So what are you here for?
Witness for a defense man.
And you?
They wanted to mess with my little sister, they were gonna have to go through me.
I don't see a problem with that.
Words are not fists.
No, sometimes they hit a lot harder.
Some black kid comes out of nowhere claiming to be your sister, and then this Oriental girl starts yelling bad words.
There is a noise ordinance, and the sounds coming out of the garage far exceeds that.
Sounds like I'm gonna have to put a muffler on my lawnmower. I didn't marry your mother and end up with the rest of you guys in the bargain. I love you, Pearl, including your stubbornness.
Please stop letting the dog lick milk from your mouth.
But she likes it! Dude, that's nasty! Whoa, I got a good one. This is like mining for diamond armor, but smellier.
Oh, Theo, no. Why do we have kitty litter? And I don't suppose either of you know how we end.
Welcome back to our interviewing now time on Live with Suzi. We're going to be talking to Harley, still is with me, a filmmaker and actor. And now Jan Birch joined us, a great actor here, whom we talked about the movies he's been on. Now you actually see him here. Thank you for being with us on this interview.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Now Vida has left because we don't have, unfortunately, enough room for everyone, but she still is here. And now one Iranian versus two Swedish people.
If this was a soccer
watch
game,
out,
you'd
guys.
be losing.
It's a setup.
It's a setup. I know. No, I feel pretty safe with both of you here. Since we talked about, what Harley has done and where he comes from,
yes.
Let's talk about you, Jan, and the fact that you're from Sweden.
Yes.
And your father was a great actor in a
Yes.
movie industry, and so it's probably in your genes wanting to become an actor. Am I right?
Oh yeah, of course. I was 5 years old when he put me in my first play.
Oh.
It was actually Miss Julie by August Strindberg, and I played Miss Julie.
That's funny. That is hilarious. So when did you actually move to U.S.?
1987. I've been here for a while
so
now.
you've been here for a while.
Yeah, I've been here for
And you
30
came
plus
here
years.
because of
the
acting, and you wanted to pursue that more?
Yeah.
Tell me a little about being in Sweden and wanting to pursue acting over there versus here. What is the difference?
You can do it in Sweden. The market is just like I always tell people. I didn't move from Sweden because I don't like Sweden. I love Sweden.
Yeah.
I bet you do.
But
It's a beautiful country.
Yeah, certain areas, certain businesses like entertainment is much smaller, and it's tiny. Not that they don't have cliques over here, certain groups, but in Sweden it's like one group that gets all the work.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And if you're not part of, if you don't be part of that because your father didn't know the right person or whatever, it's a lot of nepotism. It's just restricted.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because it's a smaller country compared to the U.S. and Hollywood, it's probably one of the reasons. Tell me, was your dad interested in Hollywood and the States, or he became a famous guy all in Sweden by itself? Or how did
he was
get
famous in Sweden by itself and a little bit of Europe, but he wanted to come here. It's just like he was in those days he couldn't. In the beginning he couldn't do it, and then all of a sudden he had 5 kids. So
5 kids, so you have 4 siblings.
I have 4 sisters.
Sisters.
Yeah, so
okay.
he had
only boy.
He had 5 women in the house. So I'm like, I can't move
That's why
anymore.
you ran.
I
That's
can't
why
move
you ran to
so
Hollywood.
I moved.
Now it all makes sense. Okay, now how do you like Hollywood, and how has Hollywood treated you?
Oh, I love Hollywood. I mean, Hollywood. I love California, LA. I really like it in Los Angeles.
The weather is no comparison to Sweden, right?
No, but I do miss all the 4 seasons sometimes.
Do you go back often to Sweden or no?
Yeah, I used to.
Just back.
I was just back. When my parents were alive, I went at least once a year. Now they're both passed. But so I go. But last year I went twice. This year I've been already. Yeah, I'll try to go back as much
Now
as I
you
can.
go back as a famous Hollywood actor, and they treat you differently. Is that true?
No, my friends treat me the same.
They still treat
Probably
you the
worse a little bit.
A little bit worse. No, I mean, you know, the Swedish people treat me really well, but they always do.
because they're just nice people with a nice.
That's what I mean.
Nice
Like
culture.
nobody, they treat you well.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
Yeah.
Okay, now back to Hollywood
Yes.
and you guys meeting one another. How did that come about? How did you?
Well, there was somebody contacted me that said we were acquaintances in the 90s, and we know Facebook now, you know. So we're friends on
thank God
Facebook.
for Facebook.
So she contacted me. I started getting Facebook messages about this Swedish director in Michigan who really would like to get a hold of me for this movie. So we talked a little bit. I talked to her, and then she, you know, we hooked up.
Yeah.
That's
Phone numbers and
the rest is history. It's
And the rest
three
is
movies later.
3 movies later.
Three
now.
movies
My
later, here we are.
goodness,
Right?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Now, how do you find him as a director?
Oh, I think
Because
he's.
Vida was
Yeah.
talking very highly of Harley being a director, but that's as a women's perspective and a women actress. I want to know, and not a Swedish actress either. So I want to get to know what you feel about that and working with Harley.
I would say, and I think both women and men will agree with me, that has worked with him. And I would answer as an actor, like for both sexes.
For both sexes.
He's very, very laid back and lets you play. He lets you find your own. He lets you find the character.
Strength, where
on your
you're-
own.
yeah.
And then like on the last one, I had something in mind that I wanted to do. And I did it, and he just basically just told me to pull it back a little bit because it's not exactly like he saw it, but otherwise he gives you a lot of freedom, a lot of liberty.
A lot of room to kind of be yourself in acting.
Yes, very much so. And like to quote Harley himself, that he said the other night, which I think is very potent, the best directors spend the most time in casting.
Which is what I asked him prior to
Yeah.
you joining us, whether he you know,
I mean,
he
it's
chooses his own actors or what.
Quentin Tarantino. I remember, I knew I already did this, but I watched a Quentin Tarantino interview, and he says 90% of directing is casting. Because if you have the right person and they're professionals, they're not going to miss the mark very often. So all my job is to allow them to find the character, embrace who they are, and every now and then maybe I have to remind them where they came from, where they're going, so that the arc works right. But most of the time, a director's job is to cast the right people and then give them enough takes, allow them to play and work on it to get the performance out.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that. It was I can't remember exactly what scene or what movie it was out of the three, but it was one when Holly was ecstatic. He was like, "Oh, we got it," but I kind of wanted one more. It's like I knew that it was something I could do a little differently in one of the lines, and he basically told me, "You sure?" Because I got it. I'm like, "Please, just," and he's like,
Just
"Of course,
me.
let's do it."
Yep.
Right.
So-
Well, that's another interesting thing I want to ask you guys. You are also acting as well as being a director. Have you ever directed any movies? Would you be interested ever, or not really?
I've been in development to direct some pieces. I have not technically. I've done some shorts. I did, smaller projects.
Short movies, like that.
But I'm very interested later on.
The reason I ask that is because I personally believe if you have been an actor and then a movie director, you have more understanding on both sides.
Yeah.
And rather than just becoming a director from scratch. I think maybe that's why you guys have a better time working with, as well as his great personality and just the character that he has.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have been an actor, been there, done that, then maybe it's easier to kind of see it from their perspective and then becoming a director. What do you think to that?
I agree, but I think there are so many facets that leads to the directing. First, let's start with the story. Did you write it? Do you have a clear vision? If you don't have a clear vision, then all the actors are going to pull the story apart because they're all going to want to do whatever they want with their character, and now you don't have a story. And then you have to come from a producing side so that you understand when you're watching a scene and you have someone like Jan, you're going to want to favor him on screen because the audience is going to get sucked into the story. True. And that the audience loves seeing him. So you have to have that side, and then you have to have the actor side where you allow them enough freedom to be creative but not pulling the story offline. So I think you need to have a little bit of all these different pieces when you direct
to make it,
because I've been on set with directors that came from strictly a producing side, and they have a system and they can't see there's something there's gold, but they're not willing to even try or even look to see if there's something there because we're done.
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of directors that are really good at action, for example, because they come maybe from a music video background.
True.
Yeah.
But they can't pull out the performance from the actors. You might see a huge studio film sometimes, and the action is great, but the acting is like the actors can do better, but they didn't get any guidance.
That's true. Well,
or enough takes.
Yeah.
Well, now let's talk about the movies that you guys have worked together and see where we are now. Which one?
Well, the first movie we did together was Betrayed.
That's right. That's the one.
We did a premiere on Wednesday. It was fantastic premiere, fantastic
And
showing.
what was your role?
I play Coroner Birch. So I was more like a normal guy, which is rare for me in my industry.
I wanted to show he's such a good dramatic actor, and I think so many times because he's such an iconic horror guy, they don't give him the opportunity to play a dramatic role. And
when I say normal, I'm like, I don't kill people.
Nobody.
I don't have contact lenses in.
He's not covered in blood.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting next to a killer in a black karate belt, so I gotta watch myself.
Yeah, no, I got both sides of the spectrum. I played a guardian angel for Kim Basinger in Bless the Child, and I played the devil and Satan. But I haven't done too much in the middle. Like in between there. It's either so far in my career, but now Harley has given me a couple opportunities.
So good.
To just build on my dramatic self.
Any preference in what you choose as an actor, as far as like the character-wise, or not really?
Not really. I love acting.
No matter
Acting
what.
is my passion. If I can act, you give me, like I said, my first role ever in a play, I was a little girl, but I was, that was the lead role. My dad wanted me to have the lead, so I auditioned for the lead, and I got it. He's like, I told you, But so I coming from that, knowing my dad was like that. He's like, as long as you work on your chops, you should be able to do everything. And he comes from comedy more, and comedy is
difficult,
very difficult.
That's what I hear.
Either you're funny or you're not. It's very fast.
Yeah, no, I always told him like I can't do what you do because he was a brilliant comedic actor, and he looked at me and said, I can't do what you do. Are you kidding me? Well, I can't do that drama thing.
Yeah.
So, it is what.
Have you ever been in any plays, theatrical work?
Yeah, I've done some play. I've done like I said, Miss Julie, and then we did Joe's Coffee Shop here at the Hudson Theater, and then I did 2 other plays with the same director. I can't remember the names now. No,
it's very good for your acting. It's good for your acting to do a play every now and then.
Yeah. I used to do plays all the time. We used to have like a theater, a group of actors. Actually, some of them are quite known today. We rented a theater on Melrose.
Right.
On all liquor store, we made a theater, and there was our gym. Once a week, we went there as our own class. We had our own theater, and then once a month, we had a performance. But it was just us. It wasn't like a school. We just chipped in and paid the rent every month.
Okay. Well, then you were telling us about your other movies that you have made together besides The Betrayed.
So then we did The Betrayed, and then after that, it was funny because we're talking about horror.
Yeah.
So Harley calls me up and said, it's between 2 movies, but now after working with you, I really want to do the horror movie.
A real horror.
I do. It's so funny because he's so nice, and he can look so terrifying on screen. And most of the time he doesn't even have to say anything. It's just a small change, and as actors we call that going through it. And it's just, I love watching something where you tell an amazing story with a raise of an eyebrow and a squint, or something small that just happens because you're truthfully going through each moment by moment. True. And he's amazing at it, and especially on the horror side, we're standing around and we're like,
Oh my God.
And we know it's not real, but you look at it and you're like, it's terrifying.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I mean, I had fun on all his sets. He has incredible sets, incredible crews, people. Everything is like a family. That's what I would say with Harley. It's like one big family. Like the best movies I ever done has been like that. It's like when I did People on the Stairs with Wes Craven. There was one big family. Wes was like my dad or brother. We had a chat every morning, like me and Harley did. Kind of, oh, today we're doing this. Do you have questions? So it wasn't like at all. The door is always open.
That's nice.
Those directors, when the door is always open, that you get the best performances, in my opinion. Yeah. Because you become close and
it really feels like a family.
You're comfortable.
And
you're
feel
comfortable.
And if you're tight on screen, it can show, and you definitely don't want that. Unless you're playing someone that's wired tightly, then maybe you want to get yourself worked up, have 3 cups of coffee before you go in. Maybe that will help.
So
but generally, you want to set them at the biggest ease because that allows you to move freely and be less aware of self when you're performing.
Excellent. Now, do you have any upcoming projects together that we want to talk about?
We are actually both involved in a big Viking film that's going to be shot in Sweden this wintertime.
Wow, in Sweden.
It's going to be very exciting.
That's cool. What is the story about that?
It's called Dead Man's Mound.
Oh dear.
It's about two. It starts in the past, 20 years ago, with two best friends. It's actually
based on a true story. Or?
No. Oh. It's Harald Bluetooth and this other Freda guy, and it's Dolph Lundgren and myself playing it. So we start as best friends, and then we plunder this village and we rob they have a mound full of gold from from a burial site. We rob that, and then I want to keep it by myself, so I kill him. I think I kill him. 20 years later, he's not dead, and he starts chasing me and kidnaps my kids, and the whole movie is on horseback in snow, just chasing. It's like one big horse chase.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
It's a very
is that the first time you making a movie back in
I am
Sweden,
not.
or?
I'm just as an actor.
Oh, you're
in
both
this
an
one.
actor.
Yes, we both acting.
So it's
Who's
a
the
big.
then?
The director is Chandra Deep Das. He's from India. His dad was a huge director. I could kind of tell
from the name. But
his dad was a very famous Indian director.
Interesting.
So we have American key crew. We have the Indian director. It was a Russian
fantastic
writer.
Cast. Also,
yeah, very good cast. With Jake Busey and Scout Taylor Compton and myself and Dolph Lundgren. And
Matthias
Matthias Hughes from Germany.
Oh, yes, from Germany. Right.
And he's another really old friend of mine.
Yeah.
And then we have the best of the best in Sweden. Everybody wants to be in this movie. So the producer actually has a list of 25 people for 10 roles. They're all like the top of the top
of the crop.
It's
in
super
Sweden.
exciting.
Everybody wants to be in on this one. So
okay, now I know time is running out, and we have one more clip to show, one more trailer.
Okay.
Remember the other movie that we talked about? That I want to talk about that before I forget.
Are we looking at Agromon's Gate?
No, there was another one.
Bennett Song.
Bennett Song, that's right.
I thought we
played,
we didn't. Oh, we didn't play Bennett Song yet.
No,
I thought we played that when she was leaving.
We didn't talk about it.
Oh,
we played it,
we should
but we didn't
absolutely
have time to talk about it
yes.
because Jan came in and I didn't want to not
absolutely.
welcome him.
Please go ahead.
Yes,
talk about
it. Let's talk about it. We don't have to show it. Let's just talk about it.
Absolutely. Bennett
That's
Song
kind of my movie.
Yes, Bennett Song released a month and a half ago. We've had incredible reviews so far. We were just mentioned in the Washington Post as what to watch with your kids in between huge blockbusters, as if we were one of them, which was great. And I also know that Vision Films is working on a network deal for the film. So right now it's still doing its video on demand run, and it's doing very well.
What's the
Same
story?
thing.
What made you write that?
I did not write it. My business partner Nancy Oswine wrote it, and
what's the story?
So the story, I play a widower with 7 kids. Most of them are adopted from around the world, and I take my daughter to the dentist, and the dentist is gorgeous and super sweet, and I work up the courage to ask her out on a date. Wow. We have a great date. We hang out. She forgets her phone. I bring her phone back to her. I find out she is a divorcee with 7 kids. Okay. And now this relationship is very complicated because I didn't tell her I have 7 kids because I kind of knew that would probably blow everything. She never told me she had anything but a daughter, and now here we are trying to figure out how
My
to
goodness.
move on and how to progress with this. And I think you should watch to find out the rest. But it's a beautiful story. It talks a lot about the difficulties maybe of being a bit of a different family in the U.S., especially the way things are now, where we have tensions between different nationalities and everything else. It's just nice to kind of show we're all the same. We're all human.
Beings.
We're all
yes,
human beings,
true.
and to just touch on that, it's a beautiful story. I was terrified when I read the script because I've never done anything in that genre. But I also didn't want to have somebody else direct it and make it a high key slap shot kind of dumb film because there's too much of it. So I wanted the film to have the drama piece, and I wanted you to watch it and feel things. So I said to Nancy, I'm like, just gotta let you have to give me your baby. You can't hang on to it when I start directing this. You have to let me, and she trusts me enough that she says, go ahead. It's had amazing success.
Beautiful.
And I'm gonna tell you a secret.
Tell me.
We start shooting the sequel in a month.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, the
that's
holiday
lovely.
sequel starts
That is
shooting.
lovely.
November.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So many good news coming from you guys. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, that's one movie that the kids of all ages can watch, I guess.
Absolutely.
There's no PG-13
It's
even,
PG.
right? It's PG.
PG.
Okay, so that means you really can let them, all your
Yes.
kids watch this, especially during holiday times. And they can get hold of it.
It's also everywhere. You can order on Amazon. You can go Walmart. You can rent it. You can watch it on Vudu, Comcast, everywhere on demand.
Super. Anything else you guys would want to talk about? We have a minute or so to end the show and the
So,
interview.
I just want to thank you
It's
so
been a
much for having us.
pleasure having you
Yeah,
both.
no,
And I
been
wanted to
a great
thank
time.
on screen here. I want to thank Harley again for the wonderful Wednesday night with that screening.
Oh, it was
fantastic.
amazing.
What a shame that I had to miss, but hopefully I get to see the movie, and hopefully next time when you do have a red carpet and a premiere, I would be part of it.
Yes.
But it's a pleasure having you both on the show, and I'd like to thank Vida and Joe for being in the show and being part of this series.
Joe's amazing.
Yes,
Vida's amazing.
absolutely. They all are. You are all great people, and it's been a pleasure having you and getting to know you. Very exciting,
Thank
really
you.
exciting time. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for watching yet another series of Live with Suzi. Hopefully we'll catch you next week. Stay and have a nice weekend. Thank you.